Christina Ditchkofsky is an RN, holistic nurse practitioner, PMHNP student, and trauma-informed medical writer whose work sits at the intersection of mental health, storytelling, and women's healing. She's the author of Burnt Letters, a memoir that explores childhood trauma, emotional abuse, and the journey from survival to self-trust. Christina uses writing, both her own and in the clients she works with, as a therapeutic tool to help people break cycles, integrate their stories, and understand the psychology behind their patterns. Christina, welcome. I want to dive right into your book. I opened it up to casually read it, and I couldn't put it down. Like, it was just, it kept me hooked at every turn. Your writing is incredibly powerful. I loved it. Thank you so much for putting that into the world.
Yeah, thank you for reading it.
So my first question would be, if you could put into words the soul of your book, what does it want for the woman who is reading it?
That you're not alone. You're not the only person that has gone through this, and you can get out, you can get help.
And in it, you point to so many generational chains, like the notion of if you're good, you won't be hit, or, just stay through disloyalty because it's the right thing to do.
Any kind of generational trauma that we have, even from our great, great, great grandparents, transfers to us, and we carry it with us. We then give it to our children. So, we just have to be aware of it and be like, oh, okay, I felt that. All right, why is that stirring up inside of me?
It feels so outdated, yet it's like we're still living it. It's still in our bodies.
Oh yeah, definitely I see that. That was so in my book. My grandmother, I was very, very close to my grandmother, and it was my dad's mom, and she always told me to, do better, do better. She had come to the house once and had seen that I had a black eye, and she told me that I needed to be a better wife. So with me, being very young, I was only 18 when I got married. These are the people that you looked up to, and I was still young and naive, and I was like, oh, I need to be better, and in the back of my mind, sometimes that resurfaces if something happens, like, oh, I messed up, I need to be better. But, being aware of it, I think helps. And writing this book definitely helped.
Yeah, what was the moment that you knew you had to write this book? Because I know it started out as writing, and then at some point you decided to make this in book form.
So for me, I've been journaling this book for years and years and years because I love to journal. I don't know, just me. But for me, my father died when he was 58. He just suddenly died. And I turned 56 the year I started to really, really work on my book. Like, I've been working on my book for probably 10 years. It's been like in the process of one draft, and then me going, no, nobody cares about that. Nobody's going to read that. Like, ew, that's gross. Nobody needs to know about that. But when I turned 56, it was just like, oh, wow, I have 2 years to live. Like, that's what went through my mind. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write this book. And as a friend of mine said, that's the evil witch telling you not to write it. Just write the damn book. So I was just like, just write the damn book. Nobody cares. Just, you have to do what is in you. And you've been working on this, and you need to just write the book. And the other reason was I was constantly having people coming up to me and being like, oh, I don't know what to do. This is happening in my relationship. So I was just like having people constantly asking me questions, and I would share with them little pieces of my life. And they were like, You? What are you talking about? You never went through that. I can't imagine you ever going through that. So they would tell me, you need to write a book. So it was just constantly
Mhm.
people telling me, you have so much wisdom, you've gone through so much, you can help so many people. And, you know, with everything I went through growing up, I was just lacking the confidence to do it. And I was just, I don't know, as I got older, I was like, you know what, just do it, just do it. And I think, the anniversary of my father's death was also like a kick in the butt.
I can definitely relate to that because it was a kick in the butt for me when my mom passed away. She was 58, pancreatic cancer, and I definitely started counting down, like feeling like life. It's like that's the moment I knew life was finite. Like you have a concept of life being finite, but it's like when your first parent, I think, passes away, it's like the clock starts ticking. So I don't think that's strange. I felt the same thing. Do you remember any specific resistance, like any fear of judgment or anything like that related to it when it's like you decided to write the book, but was there still something holding you back?
Yeah, my mom is still alive. Um, and writing the book was very healing for me. Anyone who's ever written a book or journals, like when you write things, and as you write it, you are releasing things that have been locked
Mm-hmm.
inside of you. And there is a lot of very important things in my book, but there is also probably about half of it I did not put in the book because I had to make the decision of this helped me and healed me writing it. But will this help the person reading it? Is this an
Mm-hmm.
asset to them? Or is this going to do more harm to the person that this affects? So when I wrote the book, I was very cautious of that when I was doing the final draft because I knew even with the information in it, and I constantly reflected back on the decisions that my parents made. Because I do that. If somebody does something bad, I always reflect back, well, I'm not in their shoes. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what they're going through. Everybody makes a decision based on, their knowledge and their education and, their experiences. Um, so I knew when this book was published that if my mom ever read it, she probably would not understand um, the things that were in it because there's a lot of stuff about her in there, and that
Mm-hmm.
I probably would lose any chance of a relationship with her. So that was one thing. And then the other thing is there's some very, very, very personal information in there that my best friends didn't even know about me. Because, it was just inside of me and very shameful that I felt. But it had to be said because if you've ever been in an emotionally abusive or physically abusive relationship, I needed anyone who reads the book to understand that, yeah, these are normal things. And even if you haven't been in a relationship
Mm-hmm.
like that, the book is also for people who haven't been in an abusive relationship, but just look at people and be like, I don't know why you don't just leave them. I always go, can you do me a favor? Can you read this? Can you read this? Maybe you'll understand why they can't just leave. You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, it's so easy when you're on the outside looking in because there's no investment. Like there's no stakes, right? Like for me, every turn it was like, get out. Like I thought he was going to kill you. Like every turn, like not just when things got bad, like from the very beginning of the book, I thought, whoa.
Yeah.
So, but when you're in it, what I see in you is like you just said yes to life. Like there's this adventure in front of you, and you could
Hmm.
turn it down for fear of something bad happening, or you can say yes. And it's like every turn I would, like for me, because I'm on the outside, it's like, no, no, no. But you were just saying, like, yes, like, let's see where this leads. And then obviously sometimes it didn't lead anywhere good, but it sounds like sometimes it did, right? And then, like, how do you know?
Yeah.
You didn't know from moment to moment. Like, you're just saying yes to
Mm-hmm.
what is in front of you.
When you were raised in a very unstable household, like, I put in my book, like, my dad was mostly in, we called it the dungeon. It was his basement. It was his workshop. He was kind of emotionally not there for my mom or us. And my mom like drowned herself in romantic books. It was, like, it wasn't like this horrifically bad, upbringing like a lot of people have. But I feel like maybe just because of the fact that I didn't have two parents who were like emotionally there, I constantly was leaning towards trying to find that person who would be there for me. And I had never really left my town and where I grew up, and I had always wanted to move away. Like ever since I was a little girl, I just dreamed of like exploring the world and living anywhere. So having a chance to do something and be adventurous,
Mm-hmm.
I thrived on that. Probably too much.
Like, I could see the appeal of that. Like you were saying before, you're not blaming your parents because everyone makes the best decisions in any given moment. So even though I'm on the outside and I'm like, no, 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 like I could see the appeal. I mean, he seemed incredibly charming, and there were things that seemed, to turn out good. Like, and he seemed to know like the things you wanted. Like he would speak to those things, like, right, making these promises.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's
actually had a really good quote on the promises. Like, they're things that always come due. I thought that was a really powerful quote. Did you have that realization like in the writing, or did you notice it at the time that he was making these promises that he wasn't fulfilling?
I definitely realized that when writing it, because like while writing it and processing it, of course, and then I'm also going, oh my God, get out. What are you doing? Like I see it now. But just writing it and being like, oh yeah, he did promise this, he promised this, he promised that. Probably more in the book, because in the moment I just believed everything. I just wanted that. I needed that, like, oh, if I'm a better person, he won't act this way.
Yeah, so you just hinted there, and I felt that too. Like the process of writing, you step out. I think, and that's
Mhm.
what I think what is healing about it is that you see it from like a different perspective that you couldn't see when you were inside of it. Is there something that you discovered about yourself that surprised you while you were writing?
Probably that I feel that I stayed, and I think I even mentioned in my book, because I knew how broken I was, and I knew how messed up I was in my head and my thoughts, that I think I stayed to punish myself and just kept punishing myself until I was completely, I mean like when I say totally, I mean completely broken. And then I was like, okay, now there's nothing left of me. I can rebuild myself. And it was actually very sad while writing it, because I was realizing it like, oh, wow. I literally was continuously punishing myself, staying here. I knew. I mean, I had in the beginning of the book, I even told you, my friend told me, oh my God, what are you doing? Run. Like she saw it so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed. I was like, what are you talking about? Like I made excuses for his behavior and everything. And in the beginning, it starts out with me, praying to the universe to just do anything, break me, but I have to change. And I think I held on to that the whole relationship of I have to be broken. I have to be broken in order to change. I have to be broken. Everything about me has to be destroyed. And then I can heal myself. I'm not sure that was quite so healthy, but that's how
Um,
my brain worked.
Well, obviously that's how we're wired because I've noticed that too. And you even have the quote, "I'm strong and independent," and that would definitely be my quote. But it's the same like with the universe where you have to break me, like something has to change, and that's only going to happen through breaking. But I find it the same when we say things like, "I'm strong, I'm independent." It's like we require to be in scenarios to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not let off the hook as long as we keep and it feels empowering. Like I know for me that felt like an empowering thing. Like I am strong and I'm independent. And then I realized it was actually like something that kept me stuck in the
Yeah,
recurring
you
pattern.
have to prove this to yourself and to the
Yes.
world. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like something that feels like an empowering belief is actually also limiting. The idea that any belief really is limiting. Wow. Yeah. And then you had the another really great quote. Love that requires you to shrink yourself to be chosen is not love. That hit something inside me. Um, do you think that came through the situation, like through the relationship, or did that come through the writing?
Through the writing, because like while I was writing it, it's like realizing I just literally just shrunk and shrunk and shrunk until I vanished. And I mean, everyone that saw me was just like, "Who are you? What is going on with you?" And I just, anything and everything that I ever had any enjoyment with, I stopped doing and just to be loved.
And do you think that anything changed in the process of writing?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Putting myself out there um, was scary. Knowing that people that know me are reading things about me that no one knew,
Mm.
knowing that I can reflect back on all the experiences that I went through and be able to process them and realize that who that person was growing up, because the book, goes between the relationship in the past and in therapy and then back to the past. And it sounds confusing, but it totally makes sense.
Yes.
But um, it helped me to understand the decisions that I made in my entire life and how I played, the faultless victim, um, and the struggles of not having the confidence and everything within myself. That just reflecting back helped me to understand these decisions and definitely helped me to be, I believe, a better person and have more compassion for people who, maybe in
Mhm.
a bad situation or the way they act.
I totally relate to that. I mean, and I know a lot of people I talk to discount that the things that you live through give you an understanding that most other people don't have. Like they give you a new perspective on the world, which is like compassion and kindness towards things, even the compassion you have towards your parents, like knowing they're making the best decisions that they could. Like I think that is from those difficult experiences that we gather that because there's so many people that blame their parents for what happened and they're just not seeing that like we're all just trying to survive and that's what comes out. It's not we're not perfect when we're doing that. You hinted or spoke into you felt like a victim, which obviously you were. But like on my journey, I've noticed or realized, like on my writing journey, that what gives you permission to write your story is when you begin to see yourself as the hero. Did you ever embody being the hero of your story? And did that help writing it?
When I finished it and I looked back on everything I had gone through, and when the copy comes in the mail that,
Mm-hmm.
they send you, I was just like, oh, wow, I did it. I did it. I did it. Like, I did it. I literally cried. I was like, I can't believe I did this. And then when people started reading it, it's like, and all of the reviews that I get are just like blow me away that people can relate to this and understand. Even people who have never been in an abusive relationship can relate to why these things happened. I'd say when I first got done writing the book, I felt great about myself. Not the first time I wrote it, because let me just tell you, I just have to tell you this story. My first copy of my book, I have been writing forever, and I submitted it to my editor, and my editor goes, "This is great. I love this, but you're going to start from the beginning and start all over." I went, "What?" He's like, "You have an amazing story here. You need to write this as a memoir." I was writing it as putting more like a self-help book and explaining the process of narcissism and toxic relationships and generational trauma, and then weaving in my stories. And he goes, "People can buy those kind of books anywhere." He goes, "You just need to write your story so people can relate to your story." I was like, "Oh, wow." So that was hard. But yeah, writing the whole book, getting it out there, actually finishing it and having it submitted online was like, I did it. I did it. I can do this.
And I totally relate. Like, just from reading memoirs, interviewing people, I noticed that when I'm reading a book that, because I'm interested in people's stories. So when I'm reading a book that has a story woven into a framework, it loses something. Yours did not have any frameworks. It was just your pure story. And like I said, like, it was just so gripping. So that probably was a huge blow after all this writing that he said that. And I was trying to write one as well. So maybe I have to rethink. I have to rethink that now too. But I've noticed that when I'm reading, that it takes away so much of the story. And I wonder if that's a way that we hide behind this is what I learned, instead of being raw on the page.
Yeah. Because I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. I mean, I made sure, I'm a very dramatic person to begin with. I love life, and I'm just like, oh, anything I can to make a life better. So, it pulls you in, because obviously the scene starts with a gun to my head, because, you have to be dramatic and it has to pull you in, and it ends with you thinking something, and you're like, what? And then you got to go to the next chapter. And one of my girlfriends read my book, and she calls me like late at night, and she goes, "I'm so mad at you right now." She goes, "I'm more than halfway through this book, and I have to go to bed because I have to go to work tomorrow, and I just want to finish reading it."
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. I was reading it. We were driving to go cycling, and it's maybe 45 minutes away. So, I was just kind of casually, I'll just read while we're driving, and then I couldn't. It's like, I can't go biking now. Like,
I can find out what happens.
Know what happens. Is it? Yeah.
And then everybody's mad because it ends with me leaving. And throughout the story, I intertwine my grandmother, and one of our traditions was having a cup of tea. So it ends with, "Oh, and you want to know what happened to Frank? Well, that's another story for another day with a cup of tea."
Yes.
People are like, "What? What? This is like Titanic. No, where's the next sequel?"
Yes. Which is great. Well done. So what has sharing your story opened up in your life? Something you didn't expect?
Connecting with people, and, meeting more like-minded people that, like to read and like to write, and just having people just randomly, send me a message on, "I just want to let you know, how much your words have helped me." And I'm just like, "Oh, thank you." Like, it's still very humbling.
Yeah, that's always huge when somebody tells you that your story helped. Like, especially because, like, a story like this that is so difficult to share, and you probably went through, like, why, like, stages of why. Why am I writing this? Who's going to read it? And then that person that comes up and says, like, "Wow, thank you for writing that."
Like, I love how you challenge people to be on video and just, exchanging different dialogues and forming a connection. And that, especially in the world we live in now where most everything's on the internet, I find that, very refreshing to be able to, like, I'm all the way down here in Texas and you're all the way up there in Canada. And it's just like, this is so cool, And it's like, I feel like we're really good friends. I love that you can form these amazing connections with people just by putting yourself out there. And, all of us have a story. All of us.
Yes, absolutely. It's giving other people permission to share their story. There's a reason you remember it. Like there's a reason it's stuck to you, because you don't remember everything that's ever happened to you in your life, right? But there's these stories that in a way like haunt us. They keep repeating. And I know the stories that I've written or started writing, there was a moment when I thought, it's not me anymore, but I'm still carrying it. Like I'm still carrying it. And that for me, that at that time, the process of writing was this removal. Like, it's like, it's still part of me. I'm still living, in a way, I'm still living this way, even though I know better, like, even though it's not who I am anymore, but it's like, it's still inhabiting me. And the act of writing it, for me, it was like this physically removing it. And it's like, it's my story. So it's not like I think that's why we hold on to it. It's like, it's important. I don't want to just get rid of it. Right. But there was something that was okay for me. If I write it in a book, I can put it on the shelf and it doesn't get forgotten. Like I can look at it if I want to. Other people can look at it if they want to or not, but I don't have to carry it anymore.
Yeah.
Did you like have that kind of sense that you were closing that chapter in writing that book?
Kind of. So writing it, I felt like it opened the wound all up again while I was writing it.
Yes.
And helped heal me. Yeah. But I mean, right now it's kind of like this is only book 1 of 3. So it's kind of like I'm still in limbo.
You're still writing, yeah.
Yeah. So I still am writing and going through the whole thing of, breaking away.
Yeah.
So I think once I get the second book done, I will feel much better. And then the third book will be the process of, what I learned and all the healing.
Writing a book is not a small endeavor. So having people cheering you on, believing in you is a huge piece of it. What do you think is one misconception that women have when it comes to writing their story that you think needs to be cleared up?
That they can't do it. I mean, anybody can write. Anybody can write. I mean, if you get an amazing editor, they help you. They work with you. I can give you somebody great that they can encourage you and help you get the words out the way you want them to be out. And that nobody cares about what you have to say, because if you've been through an incredible experience, even if you don't think it was that incredible, I mean, because to me, like that relationship was like, whatever, it was like my 3rd abusive relationship. So I was just like, well, it's just part of my life, But when I tell people these things that I've been through, they were like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, why? So, to other people who have never experienced what you went through, and no one has experienced what you have gone through, it's important. It's important to get it out there. And you don't write a book to become a millionaire. You don't write a book to get rich. You write a book for one person. That's it. One person. And you want that one person to read your book. That's it. Once that one person reads your book, they may talk about your book, and then it might help someone else, and then they'll talk, and that's how it works. But you have to write for that person. So when I'm writing my book, I'm literally writing for the person I was. What did I need to hear? What would have helped me? Because that is who my reader will be. They will be who I was during that relationship.
Wow, that's powerful.
So when you write your book, you're writing for the person who's going through your experience. And trust me, there's how many people in this world, in this entire world, how many people are in this world? Somebody else has gone through what you've gone through.
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. So in the process, so probably before you started writing your book, like you were burning letters. So why would you say it's still worth writing if you're burning them? Like it's not going out into the world. No one's reading it.
Well, so there's a lot of things that we have in ourselves that we want to say to people. And if you write a letter, like you're writing it to that person, whether they're alive, whether you will ever speak to them again in your life, anything, you don't give it to them. You write this letter, just write it out like you're going to give it to them. It releases what's held inside of you, your feelings, your emotions, and it helps you heal. Then you have to burn it, literally burn it. And it just releases. They don't need to hear it. They don't need to know anything about it. It's for your healing. Because when we forgive someone, we don't forgive them for them. We do it for ourselves. So you're forgiving them. So writing's very healing.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I bleed through my fingertips. My soul just oozes out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who said that, but there's a quote, writing is really easy. You just cut yourself open and let it bleed on the page. Yeah.
Yeah, just open your soul up and just let it write.
Yes. So what would be a final encouragement that you'd want to give to a woman listening to this who has a story but is afraid to tell it?
Just write the damn book. Just write it. Write it. Start writing. If it's up there, I started with journaling. You can either journal. It's very, very healing to do it by hand. And then you can type it up. Or if you don't like that, just type it. Don't edit it. Don't even look at how it's wrong. Write what's in your heart. Just write it, write it, write it, write it, write it, write it. And then eventually you will go back and you can copy and paste and move things, because that's the great thing about having these computers now. It's not like back in the day when you had a typewriter and had to start all over. You can copy and paste and make sense of it. I would say do that, and then if you really want, you can make a map. In the center, put the core of what your story you think is, and then make little lines going out with bubbles on what you think each chapter might be. Do that. And then make an outline. Just make an outline. And then just start filling in that outline. Don't edit, just fill it in. And then you can always copy the whole thing or save it and put it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will be more than happy to let you know how to change it and what to do. But just write. Just write.
Absolutely. Just write. Even if not to publish, I would say you don't have to publish write it. Yes. Just write it so that you're, downloading it. But I mean,
you don't have to put yourself out there to the whole world. Just write, even if you just journal the whole thing.
Yes, but I think as you write, you get that confidence that it matters, and someone needs to hear what it is that you have, what you're carrying. So, where can listeners connect with you?
So, in the links will be the link to buy my book, and then also you can read the first 5 chapters, and then you will be subscribed. If you want the first 5 chapters for free, you will subscribe to my newsletter. I've started a newsletter, and in that newsletter you will get more resources to help you, because if you have been in a relationship like this or know somebody like this, I write things just to help you understand what's going on, like why you can't leave, what's happening in your nervous system, what's happening in your brain, and what all is going on.
Well, thank you so much, Christina. It was a pleasure talking with you. Thank you for taking the time, and thank you for writing that book.
Yes, thank you for inviting me.